If you're trying to figure out which CRM is best for your interior painting business, which one is going to help you quote jobs faster, schedule crews easier, and stay organized, and actually get you paid on time, this video is going to break down all of that. We are going to look at the top 4 business management softwares that are helping interior painting businesses in 2026. QuoteIQ, Jobber, Housecall Pro, and Markate. We're going to start by breaking down what features they all have in common, then we're going to move into the real differences that separate these softwares, and finally, we're going to compare their pricing, integrations, and their overall value to see which one truly makes sense for your business based on your specific needs and your team size. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where your money's best spent, which tools you actually need in the field, and which ones just look good on paper, and ultimately which software you should choose for your business. And to give this comparison some structure, I'm going to assign a winner at the end of each section, making a very clear visual on which CRM has the most to offer for your business. So which CRM is actually going to give interior painting businesses the tools they need to quote faster and close more jobs without wasting time? Let's find out. So we're going to look at this in 3 different ways. First, we're going to look at what all 4 CRMs do the same. Then we're going to look at the differences between the softwares. And then finally, we're going to look at the exclusive tools that make each one stand out from each other. So let's start with the basics. Things that every CRM on this list, QuoteIQ, Jobber, Housecall Pro, and Markate, they can help you send quotes, send invoices, schedule jobs, and get paid. Those are the core fundamentals of CRM. So whatever software you use, those should be fundamental core pieces of it. But all 4 softwares have some version of a customer database, so you can store client information, job notes, payment history, all in one place. Each one accepts online payments, it connects to your mobile app, and offers reporting tools to see how your business is performing. These are fundamental features, and honestly, if a CRM didn't have it, it would not be in this video. So let's talk about quoting and invoicing features next. Every CRM can technically build a quote and send an invoice, but how fast you can do it and how automated it is and how much you can actually handle from the field varies a lot. Markate gives you the basic quoting. You can enter line items, send a digital estimate, and collect payments once the job is done, but there's no real automation or advanced options. You can't set up automatic follow-ups, you can't upsell services inside of the quote, you can't track approvals easily. It works, but it's very basic. Jobber's quoting system is smoother than Markate's, but to get full functionality, things like automatic quote follow-ups, upsell options, and digital signatures, you're gonna need to upgrade to their Grow plan or higher, which runs at around $200 a month for a solo operator. Housecall Pro's quoting tools fall right in the middle. You can build estimates, convert them to invoices, and even consumer financing, which can help on larger jobs or commercial projects. But again, you'll need at least the essential plan, which is $100 to $200 per month to get access to the more advanced automation and integration. And then there's QuoteIQ's quoting and invoicing system, which is available on every single plan starting at $29 a month. You can send estimates instantly from your phone, including detailed descriptions, line items, photos, collect e-signatures, and convert those quotes to invoices very quickly. QuoteIQ also includes instant payouts, so funds hit your account within minutes, not days, and tip collection is built into the checkout process, which is something that business owners love because it helps crews earn more and keeps morale high. But now let's go into follow-ups and automation. This is what separates a modern CRM from a basic one. Markate doesn't have any built-in automation whatsoever. Everything is either manual or requires a paid add-on. Housecall Pro and Jobber both offer automated quote reminders and follow-up messages, but only on their higher paid plans. QuoteIQ includes text and email automations, so if a customer forgets to reply to an estimate, the system will follow up automatically until they respond. That alone can mean thousands of dollars in recovered jobs every single month, and you don't have to pay extra. It's built inside of QuoteIQ and it's included on their Pro plan. But let's talk about online booking, and I love this feature so much. So every CRM markets some form of it, but what they mean by online booking is not the same thing. Jobber and Housecall Pro both let customers schedule appointments from your website after they've received a standard estimate, and Markate offers a similar option, but they do charge a $10 a month monthly add-on, which does not make sense. QuoteIQ takes this feature to the next level. You can let your customers schedule your appointment after they've accepted the quote, but QuoteIQ also includes 2 different types of self-servicing tools, InstaQuote and InstaSchedule. These 2 features are going to make you want to buy QuoteIQ alone just for these features. InstaQuote will let your customers quote themselves directly from your website or your social media or just the link. They choose their services, they fill out their information, and then they get an instant estimate based on your preset pricing. So once they see the price from that quote, InstaSchedule lets them book their own time slots instantly on your calendar. So this means your customers can go to your website, get a quote for your services, then get scheduled on your calendar without you having to do anything at all. There is no other CRM that includes anything like InstaQuote and InstaSchedule natively. Jobber and Housecall Pro achieves similar results if you pay for ResponsiBid integration, but that will be an additional $300 a month on top of your existing Jobber or Housecall Pro subscription, and you're also managing 2 separate platforms instead of 1, which just gets way too complicated for me. So that's why I like QuoteIQ, because it has InstaQuote and it has InstaSchedule completely built in. But now let's talk about review management, because everyone knows how important your Google business profile is and your online listing is, because they're everything to a service business in 2026. Markate does offer some automated review requests, but again, it's an add-on for another $10 a month. Jobber and Housecall Pro both have systems that can send review links after jobs, but they're very basic and they're not fully automated unless you upgrade to their top tiers. QuoteIQ has a built-in tool called the Review Multiplier that automatically prompts a paying customer to leave a Google review immediately after they pay their invoice. So after they pay their invoice on QuoteIQ, they're automatically taken to your Google review page to leave a review for your service. There's no setup, there's no integrations or added costs, and because it happens the moment that the customer pays, the response rates are 3 to 5 times higher than when you would send them manually later. So the Review Multiplier is a must-have feature, but another key area that gets overlooked when comparing CRMs for interior painting is job documentation. But for an interior painting business, it's one of the most valuable parts of their entire system. Documenting your work isn't just about keeping records, it's how you can protect your business, prove results to clients, and build marketing material that's going to help you sell your next job. But the difference between snapping a few pictures on your phone versus having a structured, professional system can mean the difference between a simple follow-up and a liability issue. Jobber includes inspection forms that let you record job details and check off completed tasks, but the functionality stops there. It is very limited. You can't capture photos or videos directly inside of Jobber, and there's no built-in before and after editor or centralized archive for storing repeated reports. To get the full job documentation capabilities like image tracking, notes, and property comparisons, Jobber is going to make you integrate with Company Cam, which is not a cheap integration. It works, but it's another paid subscription, another login, and another app your team has to juggle on the field. Housecall Pro takes a very similar approach to this. Their platform supports job notes and attachments, but for advanced photo documentation and inspection tracking, they rely on Company Cam again, and that's another third-party integration monthly fee that adds cost and complexity to your project photos, inspection notes, and forms end up split in 2 different apps, which just makes everything super complicated. Now, Markate does let you attach photos to jobs, but it's also very limited. There's no true inspection workflow, there's no before and after comparisons, there's no reporting dashboard to store access projects and save them to a customer profile, which is super important. You can upload images, but it's more like adding a file to an email than creating a proper job record. QuoteIQ is very different, and if you value job documentation, QuoteIQ is going to be the software for you. It has a feature called QuoteIQ Cam, which is a full suite of documentation tools built directly inside of QuoteIQ. So QuoteIQ Cam is a feature, and it has a bunch of sub-features within it. Inside, you have inspection forms for pre-job check-ins and property assessments. You also have job reports that let you attach photos and videos to job reports, and it also includes a before and after photo editor that lets you take a picture of the service property, and then it overlays that picture over the after shot, allowing you to match up the angles and get the perfect shot for any marketing or client updates. The before and after photo editor is awesome. I use it for marketing and email campaigns. I've seen people upload them to their Google business profiles. I also love it because it has a built-in photo editor for annotations. So you can add in images, photos, text. It's a complete photo editor inside of QuoteIQ. But QuoteIQ Cam has everything you need to capture photos, videos, inspection notes, and signed documents. It has everything, and it automatically stores it inside of QuoteIQ, saved to the customer and to the job. So there's no need for third-party integrations or switching between different apps or being at risk of data loss or confusion when you need to pull up an old report. That level of integrated documentation means every quote, every job, and every completed project lives inside of QuoteIQ and tells one full story. From the first inspection photo to the final payment confirmation, it's all stored inside of one system, and that's QuoteIQ. And for a service business, that's not organization, it's liability protection, sales collateral, and operational efficiency all wrapped into one tool. So the next feature is one that maybe not every home service business might need, and that's a recurring service plan. All 4 platforms do support them, but the way they handle scheduling and payment differs. Housecall Pro and QuoteIQ promote their recurring plans pretty heavily. You can schedule recurring jobs that recur monthly, quarterly, or annually, and invoice and reminders are sent automatically. Jobber and Markates are very limited. Next up is communication and customer experience. So all 4 of these softwares can send job reminders, they can send confirmations, they can send on-the-way text, which is a text that's sent to your customer when you're on the way to the job appointment. Jobber does all of these automatically once you set up a job inside of their schedule. Markate requires more of a manual input, and QuoteIQ and Housecall Pro offer the on-the-way text to handle this natively. So all four get the job done, but the automation level and control vary based on the software. Now let's talk about integration and extra tools. And this section does get a little bit complicated. You could say that Jobber's biggest advantage is its marketplace, or you could say that Jobber's biggest disadvantage is its marketplace. You can connect everything from QuickBooks to Zapier to MailChimp, but the downside is that most of these integrations require extra accounts, extra fees, and extra setup. Housecall Pro also offers integrations including QuickBooks, Company Cam, and financing partners. Markate also offers a few, but most are paid add-ons. QuoteIQ takes a very different approach. So instead of relying on outside integrations, most of its tools are built directly inside of QuoteIQ. And that's why you don't have to pay for add-ons or third-party softwares to handle things like quoting, scheduling, reviews, or automation. Everything connects automatically inside of QuoteIQ. And for me personally, I prefer the product that I can pay for and can use out of the box and not have to pay for and connect a bunch of add-ons just to actually use it. But now let's look at the features that are truly exclusive to each one of these platforms. For QuoteIQ, it's their InstaQuote, InstaSchedule, Review Multiplier, Map Measure Pro, and QuoteIQ Cam features. Map Measure Pro is a satellite measuring tool that lets you measure square footage directly from aerial imagery before ever visiting the property. They also have a virtual call team. This is an AI-powered receptionist that answers phone calls, transcribes voicemails, and pushes customer details straight into your QuoteIQ dashboard. It can also create and send quotes to your customers. It can schedule their appointments all from the phone. So that means your AI assistant can get a call, answer it, and get you a new job, which is just crazy to me. So yeah, QuoteIQ's AI assistant is a really cool feature. Jobber does have an AI receptionist, and it does have very similar functionalities, and it's included on their Plus plan, but that is $600 a month. Housecall Pro stands out for its consumer financing tools. They have open API access, and they also have route optimization for larger field teams. QuoteIQ also has route optimization, but it's cool that Housecall Pro also offers this. Markate's strength is its simplicity and its affordability, which I know, but it's easy to learn and it's fine for solo operators. But for most advanced tools like online booking, review requests, integrations, and even an AI receptionist, those are all going to be paid add-on. And finally, let's be transparent about AI features in general. Jobber and Housecall Pro have started rolling out their own AI assistants. These are tools that can help you with scheduling and responding to customers. QuoteIQ has a few different AI tools that none of these other CRMs offer that are really cool. Let's check them out. All right, let's start with the big one, AI Autopilot. It's basically ChatGPT, but it's connected directly to your business. So let's say you run a lawn care business. It's a Tuesday morning, you check the weather, and there is a massive storm rolling in. Your entire day just got rained out. Now, normally you would spend the next 2 hours calling every single customer, rescheduling every job, and updating your calendar, sending text, and telling your employees what they need to do. It is a nightmare. But with AI Autopilot, you just tell it, reschedule all of today's jobs to Friday and send every customer a text letting them know. It's done. In 30 seconds, it's not 2 hours anymore, it's in 30 seconds. But it gets even better because this thing has 35 different tools built in. And I'm gonna give you some real examples of what you can actually do with this thing. You can create customers, estimates, and invoices just by talking to it. So instead of navigating through 5 different screens to build out a quote, you just say create an estimate for John Smith at 123 Main Street for a full exterior house wash or a gutter clean, and it builds it. Your voice is literally generating estimates while you're walking the property. You can also do mass rescheduling. You can move all your jobs from one day to another with one command. You can do things like mass invoicing. So when the end of the week hits, you tell it invoice all completed jobs from this week and send a payment reminder to each customer via text and email. That is one prompt and every single customer gets the invoice because it's connected to your business software. And here's where it gets really interesting. You can use it for marketing. You could say something like pull every customer I serviced last spring who hasn't booked yet this year and send them a text offering 10% off if they book before the end of the month. That's not science fiction. That's one sentence to your AI assistant. The system knows your pricing, it knows your customers, it knows your schedule. It's like having the world's most competent office manager who works for free. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds great, but I'm not a tech person. And honestly, that's the whole point. You don't need to be. If you can send a text to a friend, you can use this AI Autopilot. It's literally just typing and talking like you would to another person. Another AI feature that QuoteIQ has is its AI virtual call team. So QuoteIQ's virtual call team has inbound calls, which means your AI assistant can answer your phone calls that are coming in, but it also has outbound, so it can make calls going out. So you could have your AI assistant call 300 of your clients and do outbound marketing calls, which is really cool. I really like the virtual call team feature of QuoteIQ, but that's just my personal opinion. You should go try it out for yourself. But when you look at the full picture, here's what you see. Every one of these CRMs in comparison can quote, schedule, and invoice, but how deep those features go, how much automation is included, and how much you're gonna actually be paying for what is there is where the differences really lies. Markate gives you the basics. Jobber and Housecall Pro give you solid tools, but most of the time they're gonna be locked behind expensive tiers or third-party integrations, and that's why I think QuoteIQ is the answer. It gives you the full feature set, everything that you need. And as a service business owner, you need quoting, invoicing, review request, online booking, instant payouts, tip collection, e-signatures, follow-ups, recurring plans, and 24/7 call coverage. And all of that is built into QuoteIQ under one platform. There's no integrations, there's no add-ons, there's no extra software, and that's what makes QuoteIQ the clear choice for any interior painting business based on features. Since we've covered features, now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know, and that's how much is all of this gonna cost. So we're gonna start with Jobber because their pricing structure can be a little bit confusing if you don't look closely. They have two separate sets of plans. One is for solo operators and another is for teams. So keep that in mind when we're looking at this. If you're a solo operator, you're gonna be looking at 3 plans. Core, which is $39 a month. This includes things like basic quoting, invoicing, and scheduling. Their next plan, which is their Connect plan, runs at $119 a month for solo users, and that's where you unlock automations, client reminders, job forms, and a few integrations. And the last tier for Jobber Solo is their Grow plan, which is $199 a month. This gives you advanced customization for your quoting, workflows, and advanced reporting, but you will still need to pay for marketing add-ons and the AI receptionist if you want those. But now let's look at teams, and the price is about to jump significantly. So Jobber for Teams has 3 different tiers too. The first one is Connect, which is $169 a month and supports up to 5 users. They also have a Grow plan, which is $349 a month, up to 10 users. And then there's the $600 a month plan, which is their Plus plan. It has 15 users. The only difference between the team plans and the solo plans is that their Plus plan includes their AI receptionist add-on and their marketing suite add-on, which I guess is worth it for $600 a month. And if you go beyond your included user limit, it's $29 per month additional charge per user, which means even a small crew can add hundreds of dollars to each bill per month. So while Jobber advertises that it's only $39 a month, by the time you add a few team members and the tools you actually need, you're realistically going to be spending $200 to $600 a month on Jobber, and that's on the low end. Housecall Pro starts a little bit higher. Their basic plan starts at $79 a month, and it includes 1 user, and that's their stripped down option with limited automation. The plan that most interior painting businesses are going to be looking at is Housecall Pro's Essential plan, which runs at $189 a month for 5 users. That's where you're gonna get automated reminders, recurring billing, and features like consumer finance. If you want the full setup though with Housecall Pro, advanced reporting, route optimization, and their API access, you're gonna need their max plan, which is $329 a month. And that can go higher if you need to add in more team members. Now, Markate looks like it's one of the most affordable CRMs that you can get, but that is not correct. They only have 1 plan and it's $39 a month, and you can add extra team members for $5 per member. That $39 a month sounds great until you realize how much of that is actually included inside of that $39 a month subscription. Online booking, that's an add-on. Automated review request, you're paying for an add-on. Zapier integrations, you're paying an add-on. Job documentation, you guessed it, you're gonna be paying an add-on. Basically, if you want something inside of Markate, you're gonna be paying for that add-on, and that add-on costs money. And it also costs a $10 integration fee from Markate, which just does not make sense to me. So if you want something like job documentation, which you're gonna have to get a company cam subscription for, you're gonna be paying for a Markate subscription, then you're gonna be paying a $10 integration fee through Markate, and then you're also gonna be paying the company cam subscription. That is 3 different subscriptions you're paying for just for one thing. I don't know, it just does not make sense. But each one of those add-ons typically cost around $10 a month through Markate. And by the time you stack up everything your business truly needs, that $39 a month plan easily doubles, triples, or sometimes even quadruples, which is just too much for me. And Markate is just outdated. I do not like their interface at all. But now let's look at QuoteIQ. QuoteIQ keeps their pricing very simple, and they really don't price like any of the other 3 CRMs. And this is rare for the CRM industry, but when you pay for the top tier on QuoteIQ, you actually do just get everything. There's no integrations, there's no hidden fees. When you pay that price, you will knock everything. But their Essential plan starts at $29 a month, and this is for solo operators. It includes quoting, invoicing, payments, scheduling, and your calendar. That is all included in their $29 a month Essentials plan. QuoteIQ's next tier up is their beginner plan, which is $74 a month and includes 2 users. This adds in QuoteIQ photo documentation tools like QuoteIQ Cam, the inspection forms, job reports, their before and after photo editor. It also includes the Map Measure Pro tool. This is a virtual property measurement feature to accurately price jobs from your phone. It also has the review management, e-signatures, and business analytics, all built into the beginner plan. QuoteIQ's Pro tier is $149 a month. It has 4 users, and this is where you start unlocking more communication features like email and text automation. You get an in-app business phone number for calling and texting, job costing, get the QuickBooks integration, and you get a contact form. Then there's QuoteIQ's Elite tier, and this is the plan that I use for my business. It's $249 a month. You get 7 users, and it includes my 2 favorite features, InstaQuote and InstaSchedule. These are the customer self-quoting and self-scheduling tools. It also includes tools like Employee Hub. This is the employee management features like the GPS tracking, labor time tracker, employee messaging, dispatching, and the sales tracker. All of this is in the Elite plan, and the Elite plan also has pipelines, inventory, and mass email and text blasts. The Elite plan has so much value. And finally, there's the Max plan. This comes with literally everything. It's $399 a month, which isn't bad since it gives you unlimited users. And it includes the AI website builder and a ton of AI credits. So when you look at these numbers side by side, here's what you can find. If you want the complete experience, quoting, booking, automation, review requests, documentation, Jobber and Housecall Pro will give you that, but you're going to be spending $300 to $600 a month. And once you factor in team members and add-ons, that can go up to $1,000 plus. Markate might seem like the budget-friendly choice, but by the time you bolt on the features that you're missing, you're back to the same price range that Jobber and Housecall Pro are at. So that leaves you with QuoteIQ, and I think that this is going to be the best choice. You get the full feature set for under $300 a month with no hidden costs and no third-party add-ons needed to make it all work. And that's why when it comes down to the overall value for what you pay for, QuoteIQ clearly wins this category and ultimately looking like it's going to win the race. But let's look at support before we decide a winner. So now that you know the features and the pricing, let's talk about how well these platforms actually support you. Because no matter how powerful a tool is, if you can't get the help you need, it doesn't matter. QuoteIQ has a resource center and a help center. It's full of how-to articles, guides, video tutorials, and it can teach you everything about every feature step by step. They also do live demo calls with their team members, so you can see the app in live action with a real support team member if you want to just see it for the first time or if you have questions about something. They also publish YouTube videos for tutorial videos if you're more of a visual learner, but that's really everything that QuoteIQ does. Now let's look at Housecall Pro, which does offer some extensive support. It does have a help center where you can find articles, guides, and step-by-step tutorials on everything from setting up your company to advanced maps and job settings. For users on the Housecall Pro Max plan, they do provide some onboarding support, including guided calls and training. Jobber does provide a help center with some comprehensive documentation, some articles, and some FAQs to help users self-learn their issues. They do offer demos so you can see how Jobber works before committing to their subscription, and they also offer some support via chat, email, and phone. But lastly and leastly is Markate. They provide email and phone support, and they maintain help documentation on their website, except that documentation is pretty outdated. They lack video tutorials, and many of their advanced features have to be learned by yourself due to this. And for support, QuoteIQ, Jobber, and Housecall Pro all really have solid support options. Honestly, any of those 3 could be deemed the winners as long as it's just not Markate, because they are very far behind in the support section compared to the other 3. But since Housecall Pro has the most up-to-date videos and very in-depth articles, I'm going to give support to Housecall Pro. So Housecall Pro wins this one, but now let's go into integrations. And this is one of the sharpest places where QuoteIQ really eats the others alive. Like I said before, QuoteIQ doesn't really have any integrations, and the other platforms really rely on them. Every CRM claims integrations, but most of them lean on them as a crutch. Jobber, Markate, and Housecall Pro build minimal core functionality and force you to bolt on dozens of external tools to match what QuoteIQ does native. QuoteIQ doesn't really have any integration. It does have a Google Reserve integration, but that's more of an added benefit that lets your customers book services through your Google Business Profile listing. It's a really cool feature, but it's not really an integration. You don't have to pay for it. It's just included in your subscription. The only true integration that QuoteIQ offers is a payroll integration through Gusto, so you can pay your employees. But apart from that, there's a QuickBooks sync function that lets you pull your data from QuoteIQ into QuickBooks, but that's really it. But most importantly, many of these features that you're going to hear competitors say that they offer in their platforms actually make you pay for it via integrations. And those are features that are actually already built built inside of QuoteIQ and included in your QuoteIQ subscription. So integrations get a little bit complicated. Things like client messaging, self-quoting and scheduling, property documentation, inspection forms may say that they're included in their subscriptions, but they're really not because they're integrations. QuoteIQ includes all of that. There's no integrations, but let's look at the list of integrations. Housecall Pro has a very long list. You'll see integrations with QuickBooks so you can do accounting. They also have Company Cam, which is the equivalent to QuoteIQ Cam. This is photo and video job documentation. They also offer integrations with Profit Rhino for flat rate boards, Wisetack for consumer financing, route tools, call tracking with CallRail, and email and text automation tools, and a few more integrations. The problem is though that every single one of those integrations adds another login and another monthly cost, and that's just more potential for problems and stuff not working. Now let's look at Jobber, who takes a very similar approach to Housecall Pro. They integrate with a bunch of different apps. They rely heavily on Zapier to bridge gaps. They also support QuickBooks for accounting. They have MailChimp for email marketing, but they do have a bunch of other stuff too. But the thing is, when you want something like self-quoting or self-scheduling inside of the CRM, Jobber does not do that natively. So they make you pay for another subscription like Responsibid, which has another cost. It means your data is being split across two different softwares. Responsibid has an $800 a month upfront cost, and it's like $300 a month after that. Responsibid is the equivalent to InstaQuote and InstaSchedule on QuoteIQ, so you could save thousands of dollars just by getting QuoteIQ over Responsibid. And the worst part about Responsibid is that it's a good product, and it probably would be worth it if there weren't tools like QuoteIQ that offer it for just a fifth of the price. So QuoteIQ wins there. Since Jobber doesn't have any built-in photo or video capture, they make you integrate with Company Cam. To match those photo and video documentation tools, this is going to add another monthly charge. But Markate also connects with Zapier for custom workflows. They offer some integrations with QuickBooks, but their integrations are just extra add-ons. Online booking, review automation, documentation, they're actually all built inside of Markate. They just make you pay extra for it. So in practice, you're not stitching together a bunch of apps, but you're having to pay extra for stuff that's already built in, which sucks. But that's why I like QuoteIQ. I pay for QuoteIQ Elite, and you really get everything that you need. There's no extra logins or extra bullshit. You get everything. So here's my verdict. QuoteIQ builds the features you need so you don't have to rely on those integrations. The other platforms flex those integrations as their badge of flexibility, but they're really patches. Every integration that you rely on is another potential point of failure, another monthly paid bill, and another data sync to manage. But when you want reliability, seamless workflows, fewer tools to manage, that's where QuoteIQ's built-in approach becomes a massive edge. So for integrations, I'm gonna give the edge to Jobber here because they do offer the most integrations, but whether you think integrations are a good or a bad thing for your subscription, that's up to you. Me personally, I like something like QuoteIQ that has everything built in, but Jobber's gonna win the integration section. So after looking at everything here, the features, the pricing, the integrations, the support, the difference is pretty obvious. All of these CRMs can help you quote, schedule, and send invoices, and ultimately help your business run smoother. But there's really only one option that will give you everything you actually need to run your interior painting business in one place, and that is QuoteIQ. But before we wrap up, there is a bonus round because there are two categories of features inside of QuoteIQ that I have yet to cover. And honestly, these features might be the most valuable features for your business depending on where you're at. So first up is team features. If you have employees or you're planning to grow your business, QuoteIQ has 4 features that are gonna help you manage your team, track real profit on every job, and never run out of materials mid-job again. Second is AI features. And I'm not talking about gimmicky AI that doesn't actually do anything. I'm talking about AI that quotes jobs for you, answers your phone 24/7, and even calls your customers automatically. Your competitors are already using stuff like this, so if you're not, you're leaving money on the table. QuoteIQ has 5 AI tools that are built into its software that are actually going to help you close more jobs and save you hours every single week. So let's get into that. So first up is Employee Hub. This is QuoteIQ's full employee management system. If you have a team, this is going to be one of the most valuable features inside of QuoteIQ. First, it gives you GPS live tracking. You can see exactly where every single team member is in real time on a map. When they clock in, their location is verified and you can watch their movement throughout the day. This isn't just about knowing where people are either, it's about accountability and being able to give your customers accurate ETAs. The second feature of Employee Hub is its time tracking. Your employees clock in from their phone, they can go on breaks, and they can clock out. So no more inflated hours, no more guessing, and when they clock out, that time is automatically logged and ready for payroll. QuoteIQ's Employee Hub also calculates your labor cost automatically. You set each employee hourly rate in their profile, and as long as they log their time throughout the day, QuoteIQ calculates exactly what you're going to be paying in labor. So you can see labor costs per job, per employee, per day, however you want to slice it up. You can also create crews. So instead of assigning 5 individual employees to a job, you can create a crew inside of QuoteIQ, and then you can just assign that crew to a job. It saves time and it keeps your schedule clean. You also get role-based permissions, and this is perfect for teams that might have different employees using different functionalities of QuoteIQ. You have field techs that can see their schedule and clock in, but they can't see financials or what the customer is paying for the job. You have office managers that can handle scheduling and invoicing, but might have limited access to reporting. You control exactly who sees what. Employee Hub also includes team messaging, so you can have one-on-one messaging with employees, entire crew group chats, or company-wide announcements. It's all built right into QuoteIQ, so there's no more need for WhatsApp or Slack or using a personal phone number. Your team communication lives inside of the app that everything else does. So let's talk about another feature, and that's going to be job costing. When you open a job inside of QuoteIQ, you see a profit margin bar that shows you exactly where you stand. It breaks down the total price the customer paid. It subtracts their labor costs, which are calculated automatically from the time tracking. It subtracts any expenses you logged for that job, and it shows your actual profit and your profit margin as a percentage. This means that you can finally see which jobs are making you money and which jobs are losing you money. Maybe your smaller jobs are running at 70% margins, while your bigger projects are barely breaking even. Without job costing, you would never know this, but with it, you can adjust your pricing, you can improve your efficiency, or stop offering services that aren't profitable for your business. And because it's tied into QuoteIQ's time tracking, you don't have to manually enter anything. Your employees clock in, they work the jobs, they clock out, and the labor costs flow right into the job costing report automatically. So the next feature up is inventory management. So if you're managing materials, parts, or equipment across multiple locations, whether that be a warehouse, multiple trucks, or job sites, this feature is going to save you a ton of headaches. Inventory management in QuoteIQ has 5 core modules. First is products, which is your central registry of everything that you track, whether that be materials, parts, equipment, or your supplies. You can set reorder points, and QuoteIQ alerts you when your stock gets low. Second is locations. You can create locations for your warehouse, each of your trucks and your job sites, storage units, anywhere where you keep your inventory. Then you can see exactly what's at each location at any given time. Third up is suppliers. This is your vendor database. You can track which suppliers you buy from, their contract information, and you can link them to products that they supply. Then you have orders. This is your purchase order management. You can create orders. You can track the status from draft to confirm to received. And when you mark an order as received, it automatically updates your inventory quantities. And fifth up is transactions. So this is your complete audit trail. Every time something in your inventory moves, whether it's received from a supplier, transferred from a warehouse to a truck, used on a job, or marked as damaged or lost, there's a record of it. But the biggest benefit here is that you'll never run out of critical materials in the middle of a job ever again. You'll know exactly what's on each truck before you dispatch. You can track what materials are being used on which jobs for accurate job costing. But there's also one more feature I want to talk about, and that is pipelines. QuoteIQ has visual sales pipelines for tracking your leads and your opportunities. So if you've ever used a CRM like HubSpot, this will look very familiar to you. You create stages that represent your sales process. Something like new lead, appointment scheduled, quote sent, negotiating, one lost. Then you create deals and drag them through the stages as they progress. What makes this feature is probability weighting. Each stage has a probability percentage assigned to it. So a new lead might be at 10%, just meaning that it has a 10% chance of closing. A quote that has been sent might be at 40%. QuoteIQ uses these percentages to calculate a weighted pipeline value, which gives you a realistic forecast of what revenue is actually likely to close. You can attach customers and estimates to deals. You can attach deals to specific team members, and you can view everything in either a Kanban board or a list view. There's also some analytics at the top that show you your total deal value, your weighted value, open deals, closed ones, and average deal age. And for businesses that have longer sales cycle or handle larger projects, this gives you visibility into your sales funnel that you don't get from basic quoting systems. But finally, let's get into QuoteIQ's AI features, starting with their AI Assistant package. The AI Assistant package has 3 major tools. The first one up is the AI Estimator. This is one of the most impressive features that I've ever seen in any CRM. You upload a photo of the property that you're servicing, you describe what the customer needs either by typing or using voice input, and then the AI analyzes the photos. It scans the pricing data specific to your geographic market, and then it generates a complete estimate based on your service catalog. It doesn't just use generic national averages either. It looks at what your contractors in your local area actually charge, and it builds an estimate calibrated to your exact market. It also asks you dynamic follow-up questions based on what it actually sees in the photos, questions that are specific to the job. And once it generates the estimate, it even recommends upsells based on the services commonly paired together. The AI Estimator is a crazy tool, and if it sounds too good to be true, it's because it is, and QuoteIQ has built it in. The second feature of the AI package is the before and after AI image generator. You upload a photo of the property as it is now, and the AI generates a preview image showing what it will look like after your service is complete. This is huge for sales because customers buy transformations, not services. When your customer can actually see what they're going to be paying for, your close rates will go up tremendously. Then the last feature of the AI assistant is the AI text generator. This automatically generates professional text for estimate descriptions, follow-up messages, emails, customer communications. It saves time and it makes everything you send look really polished and professional. So when you look at all of this, QuoteIQ isn't just a quoting and invoicing tool, it is a complete business management platform. QuoteIQ was built by real service business owners for service business owners. Every tool inside of it, quoting, invoicing, review automation, instant payouts, documentation, was all designed to solve the exact problems that you face every single day. You don't have to worry about juggling multiple apps, paying extra for integrations, or upgrading for overpriced tiers just to unlock features that you actually need. With QuoteIQ, you pay for it and you get everything's built in. It's a CRM that saves you time, it makes you money, and it helps you deliver a more professional experience to your customers. So whether you're running a single truck or managing crews, QuoteIQ is made for you. If you're ready to stop overpaying for your CRM and start using one that was actually made for businesses like yours, head over to myquoteiq.com and start your free trial today. I hope that you gained some knowledge from this video. Be safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.